KTAR, Eyes on Parenting.
Kids these days, am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? This is KTAR's Eyes on Parenting. I'm Corbin Carson. Today we're talking about feeding difficulties, and I brought along an expert to explain this to you. Why don't you tell people who you are and what you do?
So my name is Ramya Kumar. I'm a pediatric speech-language pathologist, and I actually specialize in pediatric feeding difficulties, infants and beyond at Banner Health.
All right, so tell me a little bit about what feeding difficulties is for people that don't know.
Sure. So I think the first thing that we think about when we think about feeding difficulties is, oh, my child is a picky eater, or they don't eat their vegetables. And it can be that, but we're also looking at even more extreme things, everything from difficulty swallowing, so babies that are choking every time they're bottle feeding or breastfeeding, kids that have maybe 3 foods in their repertoire, they will only eat chicken nuggets from McDonald's or French fries from here, and it has to be in this packaging. Kids that are having difficulty with certain textures in their mouth. So it can be kind of a wide variety of things. So kind of a whole gamut.
What are some things that parents should worry about when should they be like making sure that their kid is eating all their food and finishing their plate, or is that are they like messing with that child's appetite as they grow?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. A lot of times when we have kids in feeding therapy, we're actually talking about how do we make those meal times kind of fun and social. We are a culture that revolves around meals as social opportunities. So yes, we want them to finish things, but kind of a no pressure approach or a less pressure approach of, okay, why don't we try this, or why don't we pair something that's not so preferred with something that is preferred? Can we give you something to dip it in if that's going to make it easier? So kind of making it fun, but also when I say fun, even opportunities like food prep. So having the kids help with that, picking groceries. So it kind of starts even, can you tolerate something that you see in a grocery store, or is even the sight of an apple or something that's a different color going to freak you out? So we think of feeding as put it in your mouth, chew, swallow, but it kind of even starts with smelling it, tasting it, helping mom cut it or put it in something. So those are all activities that can be incorporated into feeding versus just sit at your plate and eat it.
Well, that's great that you bring that up, because what is that fine line between, all right, you clearly don't like this, and eat your dinner?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a tough one, especially if kids are battling with counting their calories and weight gain and those types of things. But I think what I usually will tell families is have something that's not preferred, which is usually the vegetables, on the plate. And even if it's the child says, I'm done, I don't want this, and the parent's like, no, you have to finish everything, meet them in the middle. So they still feel like they won, but we still feel like we won. And even if that's, okay, we're going to do 3 bites, and then you get this other thing that's preferred. Doesn't have to be a physical reward all the time, but kind of meeting them midway, negotiating versus, you have to finish this whole plate of this, and then they're maybe not even taking a bite. So baby steps and building up.
Any red flags or tips you want to give parents of things that they need to worry about when they maybe need to come see you?
Yeah, first of all, I think it's never too early. I think oftentimes parents are told, oh, it's a phase, they'll grow out of it, whether that's other family members in their lives or professionals. But, I always say trust that parent instinct if something feels off, especially if you're seeing things like, gagging on specific textures, a lot of like throwing up, spitting up, reflux, kids that have very limited, repertoire of things, or like I mentioned earlier, just seeing something that's in a different container or a different bowl or a different package causes such an extreme meltdown that you can't come back to it. Those are all definitely big red flags to think about. There's always medical stuff like weight gain, a lot of hospitalizations, things like that might be other flags. But I think the behavioral stuff often gets missed as it's a phase. They'll grow out of it.
Perfect. Well, there you have it. This has been KTAR's Eyes on Parenting. I'm Corbin Carson, father of 4, 2 in college, 1 in first grade, 1 working her way out of diapers. Chances are I'm facing a question you're facing. If so, hit me up on Twitter. Maybe I can help. I'd like to thank Ramya for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time, folks.